Okay, so let's take a look at the odd-numbered questions for this objective. Okay, so when you first look at this simplifying, 1 minus cosine squared is actually sine squared. So I can replace this with sine squared of theta divided by cosine squared of theta, and sine over cosine is tangent. So this is tangent squared of theta. Okay. Secant squared of theta minus 1 is tangent squared of theta. That is my Pythagorean identity. And this is over secant squared of theta. So I have sine squared of theta over cosine squared of theta divided by 1 over cosine squared of theta. All I did was just turn my tangent and secant into sines and cosines. So I have sine squared of theta, cosine squared of theta, cosine squared of theta over 1, because I could invert and multiply my denominator. So I'm just left with sine squared of theta. Question 5, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to solve this mess here. So I have tangent of theta, I have a 15 in front, negative 5 root 3, divide both sides by 15, so I have tangent of theta is equal to negative 5 root 3 over 15. So tangent of theta is equal to negative root 3 over 3, which is the rationalized version. So when you look at your triangle, it's not there. So we have to unrationalize it. So that gives me a negative 3 over 3 root 3, so a negative 1 over root 3. Now, my negative 1 over root 3 fits into my triangle, 30, 60, 90, root 3, 1, and 2. And so tangent being negative 1 over root 3 is of the 30-degree angle. So tangent is negative in quadrants 2 and in quadrants 4. My triangle says 30 degrees, so then I want 30 degrees in quadrant 2, which is 180 minus 30, which is 150, and then I want 30 degrees in quadrant 4, which is 360 minus 30, which is 330. So my theta is 150 degrees and 330 degrees. Okay, and then this looks odd. The theta looks funny. So 3 tangent of theta is equal to negative 3. So tangent of theta is equal to negative 1. That comes from my 45, 45, 90 triangle, 1, 1, root 2. So tangent is negative in quadrants 2 and in quadrant 4. My triangle says 45 degrees, so I want 45 degrees in quadrant 2, which is 180 minus 45, which is 135. Then I want 45 degrees in quadrant 3. Nope, just kidding. Quadrant 4, which is 360 minus 45, which is 315. So my theta is 135 and 315 degrees. So I want to find tangent of 0. Remember, I'm on my circle. So this is cosine of theta. So cosine is 0, comma, sine is 0. And this is 1, comma, 0. So tangent is sine over cosine. So that's 0 over 1. So that is going to be 0. Secant of negative 270 degrees, so 360, 270 is 90 degrees. So this is the secant of 90 degrees. Again, when I draw my circle, and I could use my circle above, 90 degrees is up here. So that is 0, comma 1. So that's cosine, comma, sine. And I want a secant. So secant of 90 is 1 over 0, which is undefined. Okay, and then 13, I'm looking at 720 degrees, so I add 360, and I get negative 360, and add 360 again, and I get 0, so I want the cosine of 0. Again, I could go back up to this thing here. Cosine of 0 is going to be 1, so this is 1. Okay, 45 degrees, tangent of 45 degrees, so we did 45, 45, 90, 1, 1, root 2, and that's just 1. secant of 60 degrees, so negative 60 plus 360 is a 300. So I want secant of 300 degrees, which is in quadrant 4. My triangle, 30, 60, 91, that's root 3, and that's 2. Secant of 60 degrees is going to be 2 over 1, so this is just 2. And then cosine of 1050 degrees, so subtract 360, 690, 360 again is 330, so that is in quadrant 4. I have my 30, 60, 90 triangle, root 3, 1, and 2, and I want the cosine of 30 degrees, because 360 minus 330 gives me right reference angle. So I want cosine, which is root 3 over 2. And that is it for all the odd numbered questions.